All right. Hello, everyone. This is Buzz with Hang Tight Sessions. Today we got Ruby Rambeau joining us, and we're just hanging out. We're going to talk a lot about like body movements and a lot of things that, in my opinion, climbers may not focus on, but are super beneficial. And how I've come to learn this is directly from Ruby teaching me a lot of this. And before this conversation even kicked off, I'm trying to do a 30-day challenge where I want to kind of like consistently strength train for 30 days. And I asked Ruby this direct question of like, do you think that's smart to do? And, your response is like, we should put this on, like, let's film and talk about this. So, Ruby, thanks for joining. And, well, one, I think, if you want to introduce yourself, tell the world, about you, and then we can get right into kind of like content.
All right, cool.
Cool.
So I'm a boot camp coach and strength and conditioning coach here at Brooklyn Boulders in Chicago. Before that, I worked at another gym just doing personal training for individuals. And before that, I taught partner dance to adults for about 10 or 15 years, traveled the world. And background in massage therapy, body work, myofascial release, and just an overall student of the body, fascinated with movement, body mechanics, how the body affects the mind, and how the mind affects the body.
What came first? Like the dance, like traveled the world, kind of teaching dance, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did that lead into body movement, or does it kind of all fall together?
I started to, after doing a certain amount of taking dance workshops and competing, I got into strength training in order to build my own, in order to compete at a higher level.
Yeah.
And through doing that, I realized that there was just a ton about my own movement that was not optimal. Some dysfunctional patterns, still working through those dysfunctional patterns. And it made me start to kind of split my focus between just dance for fun and aesthetics and kind of caring more about movement for movement's sake.
Nice. So back to the original question.
Yeah.
Is 30 days of strength training smart? Like, is that smart, right?
Yeah. Okay, tell me a little bit about your program.
Yeah, like it's kind of in. I haven't really thought too much of it in a sense of like how to structure it, other than focusing one day on chest and then the next like legs, kind of like like isolating each muscle group.
Uh-huh.
But I want to focus like way more on, honestly, like more of the warm up and cool down, but like really making that the importance of it, but having like strength built into it, like because I keep getting called skinny. I've gotten called skinny, like
put on some mass.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily like look wise, but like because I feel really strong. Like my climbs have been really strong, but it's kind of like, well, yeah, like I could like bulk up more. So it's kind of that sense. Like I feel really good. My diet's been really good.
Cool.
But at the same time, I'm like, I want to like shock my body almost. So
right. Okay.
I think that's the goal, is like just shocking my body in a sense.
Got it. Right. You want to create a stimulus and a response. You want to experience the adaptation effect.
Yeah.
Right. You put the body under stress. That kind of stress that doesn't kill you is called eustress, and that repeated stress creates muscle growth, bone density, right? Better circulation, better mind-body connection. A lot of people will say, don't work out every day, take a rest day. But I believe that if you devote yourself to a daily movement practice, then you can always be building while you're recovering something else. If you squat every day, which some people squat every day, you can look for that hashtag, squat every day. There's a bunch of guys out there squatting every day. You're going to find out they have huge quads, right? They make massive gains. But if you are doing the same exact movement pattern every day, then you're definitely overdeveloping certain patterns, and your weak link is going to be the thing that you're not developing. So with training 7 days a week, you have the opportunity to kind of hit all the angles and tap into all the approaches. So it's just how consistently do you repeat things, because progressive overload is the name of the game when it comes to strength gains and muscle gains. So are you going to hit legs at least once a week pretty hard?
Yeah.
Or twice a week, right? Are you going to balance out your chest work with your back work? It sounds to me like you are emphasizing something that I've been thinking about, which is why not make every day auxiliary day? Right?
Yeah.
There's this idea in strength and conditioning that you have your main lifts, your bench, dead, and squat, or that you have your main muscle groups, your glutes, your quads, your hams, your traps, your pecs. And you
The
focus
look good
on
muscles.
Yeah, the big muscles.
Yeah.
And then you focus on, you do auxiliary work, like, okay, do some tricep kickbacks, do some abs stuff, and that auxiliary work kind of fills in the gaps. But if you actually spend some time, a little more time devoted to that auxiliary work and make that your main work, those big muscles are going to always be there for you, right? They're always going to come out and show up for any movement. So I think that's an interesting idea, and I've definitely put myself through some programs where, I do my big rows, I do my big pulls, I do my big presses, but then I spend way more reps working on all the supporting muscles to deload those muscles that are like way overloaded from just years of doing repetitive motion. So I think if you spaced out your heavy work with your auxiliary work and gave yourself recovery time between different types of movement, you could absolutely do 30 days smartly.
Nice. Cool.
But it does take a little strategizing.
Yes. No. I feel like that's what I want to find out quick too.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
What you got?